What's poppin', Nasty Gang? It's your girl J Nasty on the mic, and today we're going over 10 tips and tricks to help you download and organize your mods in CC. Since I'm most known for my mod videos, I wanted to compile a list for you guys of 10 things that I feel would be helpful when downloading, organizing, and protecting your computer with mods in CC. Sidebar, I have a guest here. I'm pet sitting and I've shown my bird on the channel before, but this is Sunny, my aunt's bird, and he's a lot quieter on my shoulder than he is off camera. He wants to be in the video, okay? So he can stay for the intro. He's a lot nicer than my bird, I'll tell you that. Buckle up for safety, motherfucker. So I'm on my computer. I'm going to be showing you my monitor for reference throughout the video. And the first thing that I want to talk about is backing up your folders. Even if you don't have mods in CC, you need to be backing up your folders all the time, constantly, every day if you must. I always get people asking, what do you mean backup folders? How do I back up my folders? Essentially, it means copying your folder, your Sims 4 documents folders, and pasting them somewhere else in your computer. So you don't necessarily have to copy and paste all the folders. You can if you want to. Sometimes I do the entire save file just so that I have it somewhere if I ever need to reference a previous version of my game or something. But the ones you really want to focus on are your mods, your tray, and your saves. Those are the most important, okay? Because if you download something that just messes up your saves and it breaks your game, you're gonna be so upset if you don't have things backed up. So your saves you should back up as often as you play, really. Your trays every once in a while, so that way you can have Sims and houses up to date. And then your mods, if you make any major changes or major updates, you want to have those backed up somewhere. Updating your game can break your mods, so that can be helpful to have an extra mod folder somewhere, just in case. Take whatever folder it is you want to back up, and you right-click and copy, and paste it somewhere else in your computer. So I'm gonna paste it right on the desktop. But I have an entire folder called my Sims 4 files where I keep my backup saves and my Sims programs like trait import and whatever. All my miscellaneous Sim stuff, I keep it in a separate folder called Sims 4 files. And this is where I keep my backup saves, my mods, all that good stuff. The next tip I want to talk to you about is generally keeping your mods folder organized. I made a video all about the things that I did wrong with my mods folder about maybe 6 months ago. And I've come such a long way since then. And I want to tell you that if you're messy, just like me, that it's not too late, okay? It's not too late to save your mods folder. Do not just delete everything and start from scratch because your mods folder looks crazy, okay? There is hope because I want to show you mine. By first glance, it looks super duper organized. I have everything here in folders finally, but I do have a secret hidden place that I still haven't gotten to yet, and that is the custom content folder. This is all the stuff I obviously have to get to still, but what I have started to do was organize my mods. First of all, if it's a script mod or a big serious mod, it goes in the main mod folder because script mods cannot be more than one folder deep. For instance, I use a lot of script mods like Basemental, MC Command Center, etc., and those are all in the main folder. Then for my CC, which is mostly package files, I have the CC creators folder where I have everything organized by creator. So you see I have Around the Sims 4, Darte, Descar Gas, Ravishing, Redhead Sims, you know, McLean Sims. Those are just some notable mentions. Your Dork Brains. So many good. Oh, SG5150, which I learned pulled most of her CC from the internet, so this is a sacred folder. I'll explain further about my organization process throughout the entire video, but I just wanted to emphasize the importance of an organized mod folder. This helps so much when it comes to updating your mods. It's crazy, and also finding broken CC, so that way you're not just searching through a sea of thousands and thousands of files. So now that we got the most important two things out of the way, I kind of just wanted to go through things chronologically in the order as they would come. So before you start to download anything, you want to know your computer. And that is tip number 3. Know your specs. Know your computer. Know what your computer can handle. The Sims 4 has a minimum game requirement, so you want to make sure your computer's working with at least that. But know how many gigabytes is your RAM, and also know what your GPU can handle. That's your graphics card. So if you're on a laptop, your computer is going to be able to handle much less custom content than, say, someone who's on a gaming PC. So if you do yourself the favor, just educate yourself on what your RAM and your GPU capacity is looking like, then you can kind of gauge how much your computer can handle memory-wise. Getting yourself an external hard drive may help out a lot with storing your CC and your entire game, actually. But know your specs, know what you're working with, and know your limits when it comes to CC. If you're running the bare minimum requirements, you probably don't want to have 40 mods and 30 gigabytes of custom content. Like, that might not be a good idea, especially if it's like on a laptop that's not even meant for gaming, or that has a little bit of memory space. You know, you just want to know what you're working with on your computer. Finally, we're leading into tip number 4, which actually involves downloading custom content and mods. And that is going to be making sure that you're downloading from trusted websites. Now, I know what it's like to go down a CC rabbit hole and end up on some foreign website where you have to translate everything and you're looking for the safe download button and then getting put through to some type of ad or pay site and being super confused, trying not to get a virus, okay? We've all been there. When I started messing around with mods for the first time, I was actually using my roommate's computer, and I killed her computer twice downloading bad CC. I got a virus on her computer 2 different times, and I fixed it the first time. The second time, we were not so lucky. But yeah, so we need to be super careful about where we're downloading from and what type of we're clicking on, all right? If it looks sketchy, just forget it, all right? It's not that important. It's not worth it. Sites like the Sim Resource, you might have to wait a little bit to download stuff, but sites like that, they're safe. If you must go through a paywall, just make sure that you're not clicking on any harmful links. Okay, so with the Sims Resource, let's see. We'll click on this little furniture creation set. And you're gonna see that they have ads everywhere. But when you go down, the download button is clearly right here, okay? There's no false download button surrounding it. That's why this site is a trusted site. Now, you may encounter some type of ad. For instance, LaydeeFly is a super popular one. Creators gotta get their coin. Just make sure you don't click on anything crazy. Don't go to another site and press download. Just wait for the skip ad button. I wish I could find a creator right off the bat where we can do this. I'm not sure. Here we go. It's gonna look like this. So make sure to avoid clicking on other things around what you're looking for, all right? Because you might go ahead and download yourself a virus. But also check the files, all right? Check. Make sure that you're not downloading extensions that you don't know about. Make sure that your files are what they say they are when you download it before you unzip them into your computer, things like that. Just make sure that you're on trusted sites. Make sure you're downloading smartly, please. So now that you've downloaded your mods from a trusted site, the next tip I'm going to give you, tip number 5, is going to be keep a record of your links. And I'm going to elaborate in just a second by showing you my links. So I have a Google document file called my master mod list. And in this list, I pretty much have all the mods that I use in my game. The ones that I use consistently are at the top, and the ones that I kind of take in and out, or maybe I'm just using for certain videos, are the ones more so at the bottom. And I use a little emoji that I change every single time there's a huge update and it breaks mods. I switch the emoji and I go through one by one, and it makes it super easy, and I make sure everything is updated. So say if a major update just happened and all the mods broke, I'll go through this list one by one. I'll go to MC Command Center. I'll check to see if it's updated. Okay, cool. Then I'll download the new updated file, and boom. I do that for each and every single mod that I need to update in my game. And then I change the emoji to something new. So that way I know that everything is updated from the recent patch. This is so helpful. It has saved me so much time because every single patch day, I was going in and physically typing in every single mod website and having to look for every single mod link. Because some of these I have going straight to the one mod that I use. Some of these are just the creator because I use so many of their mods that I just go to their main site and update from their site. And when I do that, I keep my mods folder open. I'll open up the Little Miss Sam folder, and then I'll go to my Little Miss Sam mod link. And then one by one, I'll be like, okay, I have this one, boom, download. All right, I have this one, boom, download. It makes it so much more simple. Don't get me wrong, it's still a long, tedious process, but it's been so much easier since I've started to keep a list of all my mods. I have links to some must-have creators here as well who have functional CC that might break in patches. For instance, Ravisheen, I always keep her link on deck to see what new stuff she has coming out. So yeah, essentially keep a list of links. I recommend Google Docs, wherever it is that you want to keep this list though, so that you can update it frequently, change things out, add things, remove things, all the good stuff. Keep it here on one master mod list so you can quickly access it and update everything very quickly. So while we're on the topic of updates, I'm going to go into number 6, which is going to be clearing out your thumb cache or cache. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but let's go to our mods folder. And I'm going to point out right here, the LocalThumbCache. So basically this has a bunch of data for your game. And when you're updating mods, this file can contain data from outdated mods that can conflict with the newer versions. So it is good practice that when you're updating mods, you want to delete your LocalThumbCache. Now, if you're someone like me who has a lot of mods in CC, deleting this is going to cause the next game restart to take a long time, because it's going to have to go through each and every one of the files again to create this LocalThumbCache package again. So just keep in mind the next time you restart your game, you might just want to step away from your computer, go run an errand, take a shower, smoke some crack. I don't know your life, but just keep yourself busy for a few minutes while your game loads up all your mods in CC again. Also, if your game's acting a little sketchy and you can't figure out why, you might want to delete your LocalThumbCache also to see if that fixes the problem. So it's just a good little trick to know. Moving on to number 7 is going to be add your mods and your CC in slowly. I know what it's like to spend hours just mass downloading so much custom content. Again, we've all been there. But the trick is to add them in slowly to your game, because when downloading a bunch of stuff at once, whether it be mods or CC, especially mods, you run the risk of something being broken or outdated or just straight up not working and breaking your game or messing with your game. And continuing to play with bad CC and mods over time can actually corrupt your game files. So you want to make sure that when you're adding in the CC, you add it in little by little pretty much. So I'm going to give you an example right here. I have 2 files, October 1st and October 2nd. And these are in my main CC folder because I have to go through and organize these still. So on October 1st, I made a folder, and I actually mostly all organized it yesterday. But I made a folder and I downloaded some stuff and I put it in here, and I started up my game to make sure that nothing was broken, everything worked smoothly, and that the stuff was in there. Okay, cool, perfect. So then I came back to the folder after I shut my game off, and I copied and pasted all the CC into the correct folders where they were supposed to be. Again, keeping my folder organized. So now we're going to go to October 2nd, and now you're going to see I have a whole bunch more stuff. I added it in. I played the game a few times. I know everything is working. So now I can take this and add it to its correct folder. So let's cut out your dork brains. Let's go to CC creators, go to their folder and paste it right in here. And now look, that's another thing. You may be downloading CC you already have. So keeping it organized in these folders allows you to make sure that you don't have duplicate files. So I'm going to replace the files in the destination and add those folders in. That's how I add CC and mods into my game. I put it into a folder that's labeled by the date. That way, if something goes wrong, if the CC is broken, or if the mod is out of date, I know exactly where it's at. I don't have to go search through all the folders that I take so much time and care to organize and look for fresh CC that I just added in. Like, that's craziness. Because a lot of the times the date is actually the date that the creator uploaded it to the internet, or that they made the file themselves. So you're not just going to be able to search by recent and take out all the CC that you added that day, because it's going to be all mixed into your folder. If you do it this way, you can easily find what may be broken and remove it. That leads us into tip number 8, which is the 50-50 rule. It is a pain in the butt to have a broken mod or CC in your game, especially if you don't have an organized mod folder and you have to go in and try to find the one file that is messing up your game. This actually happened to me the other day. I was batch fixing, which I'll get into, and I had to cancel in the middle of it, and it created a corrupt file somewhere in my mods folder. So I had to go through my entire folder using the 50-50 method and locate the one file that was corrupting my entire game. It wouldn't even start. So essentially, the 50-50 method is taking half of your mods folder and removing it. So I recommend creating a separate mod folder somewhere else in your computer and storing that other 50% that you're taking out into a separate folder. I like to do this alphabetically. So I'll take out, let's say, A through M, and I'll store that in a separate folder. So now that you have 50% of your mods and CC out and 50% still in, restart your game and see if the issue is still occurring. If you're still having exception errors, if your game is still glitching, that means that the bad mod or CC is still in there. But you've narrowed down the possibilities by 50%. So since we've already taken out 50% of our folder and we know that the bad CC is still in there, we'll take out 50 more. So if this is all the files that we're left with here, then we'll start with N through S and we'll remove those and now restart your game again. See if the issue is still occurring. If it's still occurring, it means the CC or mod is still in the folder, and repeat. Now, every time I remove some CC, I keep in mind what I just removed. So you see, the first time I removed A through M. The second one, I removed N through S. So I know that. So when I restart the game, say if the problem is no longer there, that means the bad CC is somewhere in the second group of files I removed. So I know that it's somewhere in the N through S category. So I'm gonna go now remove all my folders somewhere safely and use the 50-50 method in the N through S category. Now you see what I'm getting at. You're gonna continue to do this until you specifically found the file where the bad CC is at. I'll open up one of my creators. Let's see. We'll do Ravisheen. Now I know the bad CC is somewhere in Ravisheen's file. So now I'll go through and do the 50-50 method with the actual package files themselves. Take out 50, leave 50. I did this the other day for probably 2 hours until I found the file, but it works. It's a good method. If you stay organized, it probably won't take you 2 hours. It was just my first time really having to go through and find just that one thing that took me so long. So I really had to stay organized, stay alphabetical for my own sanity, and use the 50-50 rule. So I hope that all just made sense to you guys. But we're going to move on to number 9 while we're talking about fixing CC. And that's something that I actually just learned about recently. So it's so crazy that I'm just now learning about batch fixing. So essentially, throughout the game's history, there have been patches that have broken CC. This could be for whatever reason, such as a new update adding new animations to objects. Like I know in the beginning of 2021, we got platforms and that broke all the doors and windows. So this is going to be one of those examples. So for this, you're going to need the Sims 4 Studio. Pro tip, Sims 4 Studio and the Sims 4 Tray Importer, those two programs are going to be your best friends when it comes to this game. Get both of those programs. I'll leave links in the description actually, so you guys can download these programs for yourself. This is a tool that you can use to fix all of your CC. I thought that I had to delete all my doors and windows and download them again. And no, I did not have to do that. You just go to content management and go to batch fixes. And here you see cast objects and miscellaneous. Fix windows and doors in the Star Wars patch. So I'm going to go ahead and just go for it. But the thing about this is it takes so long. That's how I ended up with the corrupt CC the one day, because I just canceled it because I couldn't wait anymore because I had to film a video using my game and I couldn't use it obviously while this program was altering the files. So just keep that in mind that it may take hours. The one took maybe 20 minutes and then the other one was going for probably 2 hours and I just couldn't wait anymore. So just keep that in mind. It might take a while, but you guys no longer have to delete and re-download CC. You can actually just batch fix it. And I wish somebody would have told me that. So I'm actually going to batch fix now since I don't have to be on the game at all today. I'm just recording some talking videos. The program actually stores your files somewhere for you to back them up just in case things go south, just like it did for me. So that was super handy. But once it's done, then your CC should be good to go and it should be playable again. And the very last thing that I'm going to talk about is basically just frequently cleaning your CC folder. That's tip number 10. Just occasionally clean out your CC folder using Sims 4 Tray Importer. I think it's called Sims Tray Importer. You can put all your crusty, broken CC on a sim, save them, open them in the Tray Importer, and then one by one go through and delete all your bad CC. I encourage you to do this so that way, you know, you're not just downloading for months and months and one day you just end up with like half your catalog just broken okay? So that's one. And two, just every so often I just go through that master mod list I showed you, and I go through the mods and just make sure that nothing was updated with new features. Because remember, a patch or game update isn't the only reason why you should be updating your mods, okay? You could be playing with an outdated version of a mod that you didn't even know had a bunch of new features. So just frequently go through your folders, make sure everything's in the right place, make sure bad CC is deleted, make sure that you're batch fixing your CC, make sure that your scripts and your files are all in the right places. I just encourage you to frequently just go through and clean your CC so you don't end up with a hot mess mods folder like I used to have. Because I remember when I made the top mod mistakes video, that was actually me just letting you know how I organize my mods, and I realized that it was so horrible that I was more so me just telling you guys what not to do. So I wanted to do an updated kind of video, but also giving you guys a bunch of tips and tricks that, you know, I wish I knew in the beginning, but I know now, and that's what's important. That's going to wrap up this video today. I hope you guys learned something new in this video, and you can take with you some of these tips and little hints of advice and proceed with caution and knowledge in your mod and CC journey. A lot of this is stuff that I wish that I knew in the beginning, but I know now, and I'm going to share all my knowledge with you guys. So if you enjoy the video and if you learned something today, then feel free to show some love downstairs by liking the video for me, and comment down below anything you want for your chance to be featured in our nasty gang shout out. And also subscribe if you already haven't to become part of the nasty gang, because we have a lot of fun on this channel if you can't already tell. Alright guys, that's going to be it for me today. J Nasty out. Peace and love. You could be the queen, I'll be Rosie. The river da. When I get my engine started, nigga, then rev it up. He want me to behave, but I ain't fake, can't switch up. I cuss like a sailor. I don't iron shit, but you make sure I'm tailored.